afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Streaming Strawberries. We are coming to you live from the Gulf Coast Research Center in Wimauma, Florida, which is close to Tampa. My name is Kylie, and I'll be your host today. To start us off, I'm going to introduce you with the lovely scientists that we have, and then I'll introduce the rest of my crew.
Hi, my name is Carol, and I'm a biological scientist at the Strawberry Pathology Lab.
Hi everyone, my name is Adrian. I am a postdoctoral research associate from Ecuador.
Hi everybody, my name is Galvin Alonso Ortiz. I'm from Dominican Republic and I'm a PhD student at the Strawberry Lab with Dr. Peres.
Hi everyone, I'm Natalia Peres. I'm a professor of plant pathologist here at Gulf Coast REC, and I'd like to welcome you all to our lab.
Thank you all so much. We are so excited to talk with you today. But first, I'd like to introduce everyone that's on my crew helping me put this together. So first, we have Stephanie running our question and answer chat. Being our director, we have Caitlin. On camera 1, we have Cesar. And then on camera 2, we have Dr. Luizzo. My gosh. We are at the Gulf Coast Research and Education Center. Like I said earlier, this center is a University of Florida IFAS center, which stands for the Institute of Food and Agriculture Sciences. By that, this is a center that does a lot of research to help the community. And these sciences help farmers to grow healthier strawberries. We were going to go outside to start this, but the weather had a different idea for what we were doing today. So we actually have a video to show you what the fields look like.
Hi guys, this is Carol again. So we are here on our strawberry field at the Gulf Coast Research Center. Unfortunately, it is a rainy day, as you guys can see. So I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to take a look on our field, how our strawberries are looking like. Most of our experiments, they are about 40 days after planting. We already have some strawberries coming on the trials. And we're going to take you guys inside to the lab. But for you guys to take a look on the strawberries, we have about 15 acres for testing all the strawberries on the different programs. On our lab where we check the diseases, we have about 20 different experiments where we test products, we test types of strawberries, we test how the weather, like rainy days like today, how they affect the strawberries and what we can do to decrease the amount of disease the growers are having in their fields.
Now we are going to start this segment off with Adrian. So Adrian, why do you grow strawberries here?
So we grow strawberries here at the center because Florida is the second largest state after California in producing strawberries. So for you to have an idea, the majority of the strawberry production here in the States occurs in Hillsborough County, specifically Plant City. So the university have this program in order to help growers with any problem they may have during the growing season.
Awesome. Okay, can you talk me through kind of what a life cycle of a strawberry is?
Sure. So the strawberry season typically occurs late September, beginning of October, when the growers plant strawberries in the field. By now, plants are already established, meaning they are already adapted to the new home, and then they are in the growing stage when they're getting bigger, stronger, and starting to produce flowers. These flowers will soon develop into fruits. And then with these fruits are turning red is when it's time to harvest. That typically occurs late November, beginning of December, depending on when you did the planting.
Okay, and so there was some plants that Carol showed us in that amazing video. Where in the life cycle were those plants at?
Those plants right now are in the producing flower stage. Okay. Like right now, we're getting ready to start harvesting sometime within the next 3 weeks.
Gotcha. Okay, and do you guys have some kind of like app or website that you are able, like the producers are able to use?
Oh yes. So basically, basically, once the plants are out in the field, they are exposed to getting sick, right? But for that to happen, we need three things. We need to have a susceptible strawberry plant that will be susceptible to fungal diseases. We need conducive environmental conditions, and the pathogen needs to be present. So to help this plant for getting sick, Florida scientists have developed and released in 2009 so-called the strawberry advisory system, which is basically a wet-based disease forecast system that will tell growers when there is a risk for pathogen infection. And then how does the system know this, or how does the system know when we might have a disease? Well, because it takes in consideration two weather factors, leaf wetness duration and the average temperature during that wet period. So once we have that and it has reached the threshold, the system will alert or send text messages or emails to subscribe to any subscriber on the system.
Okay. So the subscription, do you have to pay for it? Is it
No,
free?
it's free. You can basically go and subscribe. You can put your email, your phone number, and you get to choose if you want email alerts or text messages.
Awesome. And we are able to see that, aren't we?
Yes,
All
we
right.
are. So if you can focus here, so the system pretty much look like this. So and then we have Florida right here. So and then you see all those dots. So those are the different weather stations where the is collecting the data that we need in order to issue an alert. So if we go to the station to where currently are, which is Balm, then you can see we have two disease forecasts for two pathogens. And this for a pathogen called Totum acutatum that causes anthracnose, and Botrytis cinerea that causes Botrytis fruit rot. And then you see, let's focus on the first one right here. You see that line going up and down. So whenever there is no risk, we'll be on the green section. When that line reaches the yellow section, that means there's a moderate risk for disease infection. And then when you go all the way to the red section, that means that we have a high risk for disease infection, and most likely we'll have disease in the field. So it's advised for the growers to do a preventative chemical application, and that way we can prevent the plant from getting sick.
And then that's some of the trial runs that you guys are running in the lab, right?
Yes, so currently we have adapted the system for two pathogens, and I have a project going on where we're developing to adapt the system to a third pathogen. And they're all fungal pathogens.
What's your favorite part of the app?
Well, my favorite part of the app is just basically being able to be a little bit ahead of the pathogen, if you know what I mean. Because once the pathogen is there, like it can cause a lot of damage if it lets untreated. So this is a way to help the growers say, like, there is a risk for disease infection. You should go out there and apply this or apply that.
Definitely. So I think that we are ready for some question and answers. Do we have any, Stephanie?
We have a few in my mind. What got you interested?
All right. So, what got you interested in doing strawberry research?
Well, strawberry came along with the program. I was interested in doing plant pathology, which is basically studying the pathogens that cause diseases on plants. That was like what I got interested in. And then I got in contact with Dr. Peres, and that's how I ended up working with strawberries.
Awesome. So, what's been your favorite part about this so far?
There are so many. I got to learn so much, and at the same time, I was able to work directly with the growers. We have trials right now that we conduct at the commercial field, and we get to talk to them, and then they get to tell us what are the problems, what are the concerns. So like that feeling of being able of my work to be useful for the growers is very gratifying.
Awesome. So you get to work with the farmers a lot?
Yeah.
Nice. And with the strawberry advisory system, how did you guys get that out to the farmers?
So, well, it was there is a lot of. It was released in 2000, the season 2009, 2010. But before that, there is multiple season data collections that they, in order to be able for that to be able to be released. And once they, of course, it was a partnership between Dr. Peres and other faculty in Gainesville that made this possible.
Awesome. And you guys also have a weather station that
Yes.
kind of helps
So
with that
we
too?
we have a weather station right here at the center, and then we have several others throughout the state. And those stations are the ones that are collecting the leaf wetness and the temperature data.
Awesome. Okay. Well, let's see if anybody else came in through the chat here. It looks like we've got somebody. Well, actually, their question isn't a complete question. So I guess that's it for us in this little Q&A here. So we can wrap it up.
Thank you all so much for all of your questions. If you think of any more, we're going to have 2 more question and answer times throughout the duration of this program. So the next scientist we're going to talk with will be Carol, who is over here waiting for us.
Hi everybody, this is Carol. I'm a biological scientist at the lab, and I do all different studies with strawberries because strawberries get sick too.
Okay, so what are we standing by?
So this is one of the machines that we have to do some in vitro studies, lab studies for products, right? So Adrian talked about when disease gets sick, and then this machine is gonna help us to find products to treat when the strawberries get sick. So basically this machine is gonna apply the product in a plate, and this plate has basically gelatin with some type of like food for the fungi, right? So in this case, food, pathogens, sometimes they like potatoes. So that's my plate. It has gelatin and potatoes. And then the machine makes the application, and we get to evaluate the growth of the pathogen on the plate.
So are these things that have already been put on the strawberries out in the field, or are you doing this before you put them on the field?
So usually we do it before, when you have a new chemical coming up under development. You can do after to keep testing the product if the product is still currently efficient against the pathogen, but you can go either before or after.
Okay, yeah. So what is your favorite part? You said you were a plant biologist. Like, what's your favorite part of this?
I think giving back to the growers and see them using what we research and giving back to them, and then giving them answers what they can do to solve their problems. I think that's the most rewarding part.
Exactly. Yeah. So you said that there were potatoes in there. Are there other like food like that the strawberries?
Oh yeah, definitely. We have like oatmeal type of food for fungi. We have carrots. There are sometimes you need to put pieces of the strawberry leaves itself on the middle, so you can find a variety of things. V8 juice for people who drinks V8 juice as well.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely. So that's a cool one. It like has a cool color on it. What is going on with that one on the top?
Oh yeah. So when the machine applies, the machine is gonna apply and give you a certain pattern of distribution. Where you have the darker color, that means you have a high concentration of product, okay? And then as you go towards the border of the plate, you have a lower concentration. So basically what you want to find is each of those lines here, they are concentration of the product. So this machine apply on this way, and I can tell what is the exactly concentration that is inhibiting the growth, and what is potentially the rate that the growers are using the field that is going to treat the disease.
So do you want the concentration to be lower down here or higher?
I want to be higher because I want to be as low as possible.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And so you're doing all these tests and you're doing all on the pathogens and everything. Are these tests like once you do them, you're done? Do you have to come back? Is resistance a thing that you're worried about?
So once we test on plates like this, and then if we find something that is potential to use, then we do the field studies. So we take the products to the field, and we have different layouts for the testing of the products in the field. So you have applications of products that they go on top of the plants because you want to treat leaf and the fruit, and there's also ways where you can inject the product to treat the roots and the crown of the plant. As matter of resistance, there are cases where we need to come back to the product and test the machine, or different ways, because the product, we are not seeing the product as efficient anymore, and we want to see what's happening there. So that's where we have the resistance of the pathogen. The pathogen finds a way to survive under the chemical application, and then we need to look over that. That's where I have other plates over there, where I have plates where the pathogen grows without fungicide, and when pathogen grows with the fungicide, which means when the fungus is growing with the fungicide, the fungus is resistant to the product.
Awesome. Is there anything else about that, the resistance or the pathogens or anything else that we might have missed?
I don't think so. We do have, well, all the studies we do in lab, we also do at field level, and also like if for example is a fruit disease, we do the detached fruit. So we harvest almost mature fruit, and then we put the pathogen there, and then we try to treat with the product. That's one of the ways that we also do. The same for leaves, so we do in different ways.
So how in the field are you making sure that specific fungi aren't getting on other ones and a test? Like, how do you label while you're in the field?
So the trials, basically, they are labeled with different colors of flag because it's easier for our sprayers. So each color is going to be one treatment. So they know when they need to apply the pink color, the red color, the double yellow flags, or something like that. So this is mostly for like when you spray on top, or when you are injecting on the drip system, the tapes that goes underneath the plastic.
When it comes to like the life cycle of a strawberry, when during this life cycle are you doing these tests?
You wanna do as soon as possible, right? Because you don't want the disease to get out of control. So preventive, but we also try to do some curative, but not really curative, just to like lower the amount of disease that you have on the field.
Definitely. So I think we might be ready. Is there anything else that you...
No, I think...
Are you ready for questions?
Yeah, we're ready for questions. Bring it on the questions.
Okay, so we've had a pretty quiet crowd today. So I would like to ask you, Carol,
Yes.
let me move over here, I suppose. So did you always know that you wanted to be a plant pathologist?
No, I thought I want to be like a sheriff.
Oh, well, that's way different. What
Way
brought you
different.
into this field?
I didn't like a law school. So I had to go to law school to be a sheriff in my home country. And then I went to law school. Law school for me was boring. Some people might like it. So then I found the College of Agronomy.
Okay.
So, and then I think I always knew I wanna work with fungi, I love seeing the place with fungi growing.
Okay, so it was that brought you.
Yeah, that was what brought me here.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I know that's really cool for students to hear that people didn't just always know they wanted to do this, because a lot of us don't know.
Yeah, you can change your preference.
You can be into being a sheriff, and then you can be a plant pathologist. So I noticed over here that these are quite beautiful. What makes them so pretty?
So this is basically Well, most of our products, they are either whitish or clear. But we need to make sure we are getting the pattern in a good distribution that is even. So basically, this is just like food dye.
Okay.
Yeah, that we put it here to make the pre-tests to make sure the application is even, because then it increase our accuracy of results. Yeah.
That's
so this
really
is food
neat.
dye, just to make sure what we are doing is the most accurable possible.
So we've got food dye, V8 juice,
V8 juice, oatmeal.
potatoes, lots of food here. If we ever get hungry, we've got some backup for us, and some strawberries.
Some
Hopefully.
strawberries as well.
Yes. So let me ask you, what's your favorite thing that you do in your
Fungicide testing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's nice to see what is still working, what is a possibility for the growers to have, to use. Diseases are important. They do cause a lot of money loss for the growers. It impacts the consumers because the product gets the higher price.
Yes.
So I like to find ways for them to control the disease on the field. Basically fungicides.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And now, are any of these fungus infections that like human could get from strawberries?
No.
Okay.
All of them, they are really plant. They cause disease only on plants.
Okay.
So they are safe for us to work with, but safe.
Nice.
Everything is safe, and we do everything under the regulations, under environmental protection agents. Everything is under permits, federal permits, so everything's
Cool.
the correct way.
That's what we like to hear, especially at UF here. All right. So that is going to, let me see, actually, we have some questions.
Oh, yay.
Will strawberries eventually be tested in hydroponics systems?
So there, I'm not sure about hydroponic systems, but I know that there are some growers that they do try to grow strawberries under the tunnels on the high tables,
Okay.
but it's really susceptible to disease, and it's really high cost to have those structures, especially here in Florida where we have the hurricanes that just put the tunnels down. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure about hydroponic.
Okay. And I guess we should clarify for the audience who might not know what hydroponics is.
Yeah, so it's when you grow a plant on basically a solution like water with some type of fertilizers.
Okay, so that's where that hydro comes in.
Yes.
And we also have a question. As we solved for strawberry diseases, should we try to improve the sweetness of it? So as we treat diseases,
Yeah, but I don't think they are directly related. This sweetness is studies more the breeding program, and we are focused more on the disease. Of course, when you don't have disease, you can eat them. If you have disease, don't eat them.
yes, definitely. And let's see, we don't have any more questions in the chat, but I did want to know: are there any good fungus out there that
Beneficial fungus? Yes, definitely. We do have in a lot of our trials, we test what we call a biorational or biological products. Those are basically most of the times types of bacteria like bacillus that we try to introduce on the crop to treat the disease. So yes, they can be really beneficial.
Okay, awesome. I think we're going to start moving down to see this robot that we've got.
Yeah, that's cool.
So we'll catch up with y'all soon.
Okay, so we're gonna start moving. So it's gonna get a little choppy. Bear with us. We've got to make our way down a hallway to find a robot. And so I've kind of been running through this a little quick, but remember we are at the Gulf Coast Research and Education Center in Waimoma, Florida. Okay. Okay, so we're walking, and this is just one of the labs that we're in. They do a lot of the testing in here before going to the fields. This is Adrian. He will be talking about the robot in just a second. So this is, again, just a view of the Gulf Coast Research and Education Center. And then that cool thing that you see right there is the robot. Okay, Adrian, while everyone is getting here, I'm going to hand you the mic and have you reintroduce yourself, okay?
Okay, my name is Calvin Alonso. I'm a PhD student here at the GCREC, and I've done some work with ultraviolet light and the robot that we called Turbo. This robot, we use it to fight powdery mildew, and that's a fungus that attacks our strawberries. It's kind of like a white talc that goes on top and underside of the leaves, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about how it works.
Okay, so we have it inside right now, but is it in here most of the time?
Is most of the time in the field. So as you can see here, I can control this robot with an Xbox controller. It's not like video games, but it's pretty similar. So if I press here, I don't know if you can see it moving right now. It can rotate a little bit. And I can change the speed of the robot. But the pretty cool thing is that it can work autonomously. Here, if you can focus here, we have a GPS signal receiver over here, and we can program it so that we take the robot to the field with the controller, but then in the field, it operates autonomously, whatever we program it with.
Gotcha. Okay, and so you said that this was a UV robot. So why are we interested in UV?
Well, you know, when you go to the beach, you use sunblock so you don't burn yourself. And in this case, we're using the power of the ultraviolet light to kill the fungus that harms our strawberries. So ultraviolet light is highly energetic, and it can damage the DNA of the fungus. But this application, we need to do it at night because the fungus has a natural way to repair itself during the day from the sunlight. But if you do the ultraviolet light treatment at night, then the fungus doesn't have the means to recover. And eventually it's gonna die and we're gonna have healthy strawberries.
Healthy strawberries. Okay, so you said that it uses the light, the fungi uses the light to kind of fight during the day. So I'm not much of a plant scientist at all. Is that a little bit of photosynthesis going on?
It's kind of similar. So the fungus, the powdery mildews have evolved, and they have an enzyme that is called photolyase that can repair the damage that the UV lights cause on the DNA. So that enzyme, it's activated by the blue light we receive from the sun. So from the sun, we receive different kinds of light. And we have blue light, but we also have UV light on different kinds. So the fungus can get harmed, but repair itself pretty quick during the day. At night, you don't have blue light coming from the sun. So the harm stays and the fungus eventually dies.
Definitely. So you moved it around a little bit more. Is there anything else that you can do? And if you can show us, I can take your mic and so you can have...
Yes. It's kind of tricky to control it because it's pretty sensible, as you can see. But if we want to treat the strawberry plants, we need to turn on the lights inside. So if you can focus your attention here, we're not going to turn on the lights because it can harm us if we are not protected. Whenever we're doing the treatments, we need to use PPE. That's personal protection equipment. And we use goggles, we use a Tyvek suit. I think we have pictures over there that we can show because that UV light can harm our skin. And it's pretty dangerous. So use your sunblock when you go to the beach, please.
Definitely. And so, is there anything else? We're talking UV rays right now, but are we doing anything else to help?
Okay, so with the UV light, you can also get rid of the spider mites. Spider mites are arachnids that can also cause harm to the strawberry plants. And with the UV light, you can eliminate the eggs of these spider mites. That's the stage that is mostly affected. For controlling mites in strawberry, we also use predatory mites. And there's a caveat by using UV, because if you want to get the bad spider mites with the UV, you could also harm the good ones that you release. So the recommendation is use UV light first to get rid of some of the spider mites, and then release the predatory mites.
So to make sure that you're saving the good.
Exactly.
Yes. I think Dr. Perez said something about like a plant sauna earlier. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
So, talking a little bit more of why we're testing these technologies is Carol already mentioned about disease getting resistance to fungicide. Pathogens getting resistance to fungicides. And this is a physical method to fight the pathogens, so they will not get resistance to it. And the plant sauna is a heat treatment that we develop here, where we put the transplants from the nurseries inside a big chamber that gets steam at certain temperature, and with that you can get rid of those pathogens that we can still not see, but they are inside the plants. And when they get from the nursery to the farms in Florida, then you get the disease. But if you do the plant sauna treatment, or heat treatment as we call it here, first, then you have healthier plants here in Florida.
So you say when you're working with the robot, you have to be in PPE, and you said it was very dangerous. What do you need in terms of the sauna?
For the sauna, basically you don't need to be inside the sauna, so there's no problem. You put the plants in there for a specific amount of time, they will get treated with the steam, and that's it.
Yeah. Definitely. So you said that you are a doctoral student. So what's your research looking like right now?
So my research really focuses on control of inoculum of Neopistalotiopsis. That's the most important disease that we're dealing with now in the strawberry fields in Florida. And also control of Macrophomina fasciolina, a soil-borne fungus, based on chemical options, basically fungicides, fumigants.
So, so you said that was your research, and can you talk about like why that's important?
That's important because growers, if they have more tools to rely on to fight the diseases that they face on those fields, the more alternatives they have and ways to decide, like, which way is less expensive for me so that I can get more benefits from my strawberries. And we're also always looking for alternatives to more eco-friendly alternative for control of diseases, and also reducing the amount of applications that we do in the field, so we get better strawberries, healthier for the environment, and so on.
Definitely. So you said something about chemical fungicide earlier. Is that the only type of fungicide? Is there kind of some biological fungicide that you're using?
There are also biological fungicides, and in the case of control of Macrophomina, we still don't have one that works really well, but we have tested some, and whenever something new comes up, we test it because we really want those. We really want to have alternatives to or chemicals.
Definitely, definitely. So is there anything else that you would like to share with us about your robot friend here?
So this robot was specially designed for strawberries, but it didn't start it like this.
Okay.
We had an equipment that it was like a prototype that it was an equipment tractor drone, and we call it the Dragon. So it's basically, I think we have pictures over there. We have pictures here. We have pictures here. I don't know if you can focus on here, but this is the equipment, and inside we have a bunch of lights arranged in a hemi-cylindrical manner. And with that equipment, you can treat 2 strawberry beds at a time. We have also tested it for cantaloupes because cantaloupes also get powdery mildew, and it works pretty well. So from this, with the necessity of doing the treatments at night, people thought about, whoa, maybe we can create an autonomous robot that doesn't need anybody to drive it. And that's how Thorvald got developed. And there are several models of Thorvald for different kind of crops. For example, for grapes, you will have a taller robot that is also narrower, and to treat the grapevines. You can have also bigger ones, but there are several models that are being developed, and there's more interest every day on those robots.
Definitely, definitely. So you said that this robot can kind of be found and do its own thing with GPS. Listen, I'm not very good at GPS, and I would get lost. Have you ever lost the robot in the field?
If you have like some connection problems, you could go and it will stop, but it wouldn't go like, oh, we're here in Waimama, you find a robot on Tampa.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it will stop, but not. We haven't had like big problems with that.
That's great. That's right. So I think we're ready for Stephanie and our question and answer chat. So she'll roll on over here.
There any interesting questions there?
All right. Okay, so I'm going to ask you the same thing that I've asked the other. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I'm not used to being so close together. Okay, so what got you into plant pathology?
The first time I heard about citrus greening, so I was in a agricultural high school before coming here, and I heard about citrus greening. And for me, that was devastating because basically a family can get out of business just because of a disease. And I thought, wow, I could maybe work for a solution for that. Interestingly, I've never worked with citrus. I ended working with strawberries, but I really, really like it.
Okay.
We're really close to the growers, and whatever we do here is just to address the needs of the growers.
Awesome. So you're really driven by the need of us to have people like you out here. So about the robot, is this something that's just used here at the lab, or do farmers take this out?
So there's a farmer I have worked with that is building his own prototype.
Cool.
Just like the one with the tractor.
Yeah.
So he got some ideas from the robot, some ideas from our prototype, and he's building his own. Because you can get UV lights, I think from Amazon. You can get them. And then you basically need just like a skeleton to mount them and your tractor, and then you run the treatments.
PPE for.
And that always wear your PPE.
Yes.
I'm talking from experience.
So you've had a burn before?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Yes, but I'm good.
Okay, good. All right. So Coach Hilburn asks us, how long does the robot run in one session?
In one session, I really don't know
Okay.
how much it runs, but basically you can do several acres.
Okay. So you said at night, does someone have to be here to sort of like babysit the robot while it's running at night?
That's the best approach because we need to get the robot to the field with the controller. Just because you don't know what's gonna be in your way from
Or if he'll decide to drive
here
to
to the
Tampa.
fields, yes. And after you get the robot in the field, then it's gonna run all alone.
Okay, cool. And so I know you mentioned a little bit about some like mites that it gets. Does it harm other insects that are out there?
I don't have information if there's been studies on other insects, but there are studies on mites. That's the only information I got right now.
Okay. Well, I thought it was really cool when you're talking about how fungus has a defense against UV during the daytime and not at nighttime. I would have had no idea about that at all.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of wondering, how did this alternative treatment method get discovered?
That's a pretty cool history. So there was an engineer that had grapes. He had a farm with grapes, a vineyard, and he was looking for a treatment for powdery mildew. And ultraviolet light, it's historically been used for the treatment of water and also for food that is gonna go into the supermarkets. And he thought, well, maybe I could use some source and treat my vines in the field to get rid of powdery mildew. And the first time he did it, he roasted the plants.
Oh.
Because he used too much energy and the design was not there yet. He abandoned the idea, and then after a while they came back to it and made it work.
Wow. That was a really creative farmer there.
Yes.
Goodness gracious.
Yes.
Okay. And now, if someone were to try to create something like this, I know we talked about our farmer earlier who is doing this. Yeah, to get a whole robot, but how much money does that cost for a farmer if they got a robot?
This one was built several years ago, I believe 2014 or 16. And by that time, it was like $60,000.
Wow, yeah.
The grower that we're working with, he has... The one that he's building is much less expensive than that. But as those robots are being used more and more right now, they are getting less expensive with time.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, let me see if we've got any more questions here. I think we're all good. I'm going to pass this back over to Kylie.
Thank you so much, Stephanie, and thank you, Galvin, for talking with us about such a cool robot. We want to thank each and every one of you that are online right now. We want to thank everyone at the GCREC, and we hope that we made science a little bit sweeter today. So from the Streaming Strawberries crew, thank you and have a great day.